checklist of things that need to get done, and I put them up on my whiteboard, and I just like check things off for the day, the month, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I get all excited. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta cross the last thing off, and then I'm like, wait, I got 12 more things I should add up here.
Yeah, well, it's the worst when you like make the detailed list. Like when you make a detailed list, and then like, oh, I thought it was almost done, but then I have all the shit to do.
So much.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. I'm glad I don't have fucking Corona though, but I've been fucking sick for, I don't know, I've been like, I don't know what it is, but like I've been like that since I was a kid. Like, I'll catch a cold, most people get rid of it in like 3-4 days, and then I'm sick for 10 days.
Oh no. Yeah,
My genetics, man, never climatized to this country.
Really? Yeah, just like myself, like it took me many years to get used to it, especially when I moved up north. Like when we first moved here, we didn't have a house. Like we had to build a house, and I was living in like a holiday trailer. And yeah, I looked outside, and there was so much snow. There was like past the fence posts. I was like, when? I was like, this thing's never gonna melt. Like, where is, how? I couldn't figure out how it worked. And then, yeah, I had to get people to open up my door because there was like icicles hanging off, and I couldn't get out in the morning. Yeah, it was horrible. It was horrible. Yeah.
How long have you been in Canada?
Oh, long time, since 2005. No, sorry, 2003 when we came. Yeah, it was a long time. Been here almost longer than I've been in Brazil. Pretty much.
Yeah, that's great. That's what I say to my dad all the time, because he's always like, oh, he moved back to Brazil for like 14 years. He was gone, but he came back later on in my life. And I said to him, I was like, man, if you add up all the years, I'm like, you've been in Canada longer. So I was like,
yeah, for sure. How old were they?
My parents came, my dad was probably in his 30s already.
Oh, wow, eh?
And yeah, like my parents were married. I had my sister 4 years older than me, so she was about 2 or 3, and then I was born like a year later or whatever after they were here.
Oh, I see. So just the two of you?
Yeah, well, no. I have an older brother, like a half brother from my dad has from another lady.
Okay.
But I haven't seen him since. Oh man, it's been.
But you met him then, eh?
Yeah, he lived with me when I was little, but then
I
he
see.
went back to Brazil. Yeah, my dad took him back to Brazil to go live with his mom, and then never saw him again.
Oh, wow. Well,
Yeah,
would it be good to at least keep in contact with, like on Facebook or something, eh?
No, he's fucked up in the head. He's not on the computer.
Oh.
Yeah, he's like a severe schizophrenic.
Oh, wow.
Some other shit. I don't know. I don't know the whole story. That's just what I was told. So, you know, like the old school Brazilian families, there's something wrong with one of the people in the house. They just build a room in the back for them, and they don't come out.
Yeah, that's true. Well, back when I was a kid, there was never like mental health issues. Like nobody ever labeled people like that. You know what I mean? Like it was always
No, not at all.
either you fucked up or you get over it, get better. You know what I mean? Like it was never labeled.
Yeah, now it's everybody just got a label. Oh, I'm depressed. Oh, I got mental illness. Like,
Yeah, the way I see it is get over with life and fucking move on, right?
Right. There's only a few things on the list that like prevent people, like severe problems, right? Like everything else seems to be just a combination of stress and laziness.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You're right about that.
But, yeah, so I have that older brother, and then I have a younger brother my dad has from after my mom. My younger brother is 16. He's been living in Canada for the last 5 years now. They've been here.
Oh, wow. That must be nice to have a little brother, eh?
Yeah, it's cool. At first it was like exciting, and then he's just kind of an awkward age, and then he was a lot different than me as a kid. He's like kind of a computer nerd. He just sits on his computer all day playing games. because my dad is old. He's basically a grandpa. He doesn't really, just let them do whatever. But he's really good at school and all that. So my dad's just kind of like,
Yeah, that's good. Keep him busy anyways, eh?
Yeah, he's now that he's older, as a teenager, I can tell he's been like texting me and reaching out to me more. He just started to be the sound engineer for his school.
Oh, nice.
Their events and things like that. So he wanted to tell me because he's like, oh, because I run the studio and stuff. And
are you a registered engineer, or you just like learn? Did you learn how to engineer music on your own, or did you go to school for that?
Well, I didn't go to school for it. I went to business school, actually, in the
cool.
first 2 years of my business. And then I realized, my mom, I'll back up the story a little bit. My mom passed away when I was 24. She died from cancer. And when she was on her deathbed, she said to me, my mom was, she grew up in Minnesota. She was very poor. She was a barefooter. And, being in Canada and having the little bit we had here to her was like winning lottery.
Yeah, for sure.
She loved Canada. She embraced it.
She's probably very appreciative.
Yes, and especially women from her era didn't get a lot of rights. So
yeah, no kidding.
In Canada, she felt very liberated, and she loved it here. She never wanted to go back. But she asked me, she said, I came to this country to take advantage of what they offer. I need you to promise me you'll go to college. I was 24, but I had already been running my first record label since I was 20, so I was 4 years into running my own business.
Okay. Well, that's nice of you.
Yeah, so I decided, I'll go do something, and I figured since I was already doing business, I might as well just go into the business program. Maybe I can learn a few more tricks. And after the first 2 years, I realized I was making more money, doing better in life, just working and not going to school. So the company that I run now, Independent Generation, was my year-end project with business school. I had to create a business. So
oh wow, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, so when I finished school, I just made the business, and it took me a few years before I actually decided to get it going. And then I always kind of had some involvement in the music. If I wasn't actually rapping, I kept myself active. I started recording people because I had all the nice equipment, and then realized I should make that a business.
Yeah.
Turn that studio, and then I got into film stuff and started being a director and doing music videos for people. So, my keys to success have always been multiple sources of income.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you can't just always depend on one. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then eventually, because I had acquired the skills as an engineer, I acquired the skills for the video work. I already am an artist, so I paint and into graphics.
Yeah, you do such a great job. I've seen some of your paintings.
Thank
you. Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
I like painting myself, but I'm not as good as you.
Oh, don't say that. Anybody can be good. Art is beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Some people in the art world might look at my stuff and be like, oh, this is too good looking.
Yeah, no kidding, yeah. I don't know, with me, I always, tend to draw faces. It's kind of weird. I always find faces in, different spots on my paintings, and, it's I don't know what it is, but I can never, say, okay, I'm going to draw a tree, and then I always end up drawing something else. I'm not...
yeah. Draw a tree with a face in it.
yeah, it's very different. What was that? Yeah. Well, should I start asking you some questions then? I hope
go for it. Go for it. I'm just driving from my city to another town where my fiance lives.
Oh, okay. But, she's very pretty. I've seen pictures of her. You're a lucky guy.
Thank you. She's very nice. She's a very, very, very good soul. That woman.
Yeah. I have a friend that lives there, and I don't know if you ever heard of her. Her name is Kate Kenny. I don't know. Yeah. Her last name is Kenny. Kate Kenny. Kenny, Kenny.
No.
I think she's from Nanaimo. What is it? Oh, Duncan. I was just there.
Oh, okay.
I was there last year. I went to visit her. So nice there. I wish I could move down there.
Oh yeah, the island is beautiful, and it's a lot cheaper than most parts of like mainland.
Yeah, for sure. It's beautiful, but I found it was like really damp. Like I don't know, I would like wash my hair, and my hair would feel different. Like I don't know, it was. It's really damp.
Clean hair.
Yeah, no, it's but it's really nice. It's a different type of like cold, right? Like it's not as cold as like up here where I live. It's so dry. It's like a dry cold. I don't know. But down there it's like moist.
The cold kind of, it's so cold that the cold kind of burns you, right? Like,
yeah, like up here sometimes it gets to like a -50, like -55. Yeah, with wind chill sometimes. Yeah, it's horrible. Like I don't even know what I'm doing here, really.
Well, maybe you'll move to Vancouver Island.
Yeah, well, I lived in Vancouver when I first moved up here in 2005, I guess. Like, well, we lived in Vernon at first, and then I went to Vancouver. I spent 3 years, I think it was 3 years that we lived there. And then I came up here for a visit, to visit family, and then we got a deal on a property, and yeah, I ended up staying. It was... it's actually it's not so bad. It's cold, but it's not. My house is warm, so.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I just have 4x4 vehicles, and like this is up here is where the money is really. Like there's a lot of.
That is true.
Yeah, a lot of like opportunities here, like with the oil field and stuff. Like there's a lot of work, and it's basically a transit town. Like it's the mile zero to Alaska. So there's a lot of people that travel through here to go north. Yeah. So well, yeah. I guess you answered that. I was gonna ask you what made you become the CEO of your record label, and I had a few questions here. Let me see.
Yeah, take your time. Ask away.
So what was like growing up in Vancouver Island?
Well, I grew up in the 90s, and in Nanaimo, I was the only Brazilian kid.
Yeah.
So, it kind of made me have a sense of, I felt really connected to my Brazilian background just because I was the only one, and I'd always dreamt of having more Brazilian friends or a Brazilian girlfriend.
Yeah, that's good.
I've never had a Brazilian girlfriend my whole life, but I felt in some senses kind of special, but also out of place.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Even though growing up here, like a lot of Brazilian people will say to me, like, "Oh, I always get discouraged, especially when I meet Brazilian men. And they're like, oh, você fala português, eu falo pouquinho." And they go, "Oh, you're not a real Brazilian." Fuck off.
What the hell?
Whatever. I got no one to talk to. Just my parents. They don't talk like young people talk, you know. So
yeah.
I'm not learning any of that. But like growing up here was, my family was very poor. So, you know, I think that I learned a lot of good values.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
From my mom, and because I'm well, you've seen my pictures, I'm mixed, so on one hand I blended in with some of the white people, but then some white people were pretty racist also.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Some people don't even notice, and then some people really notice, and it was very weird. And then, you know, that's what kind of pushed me to get into hip-hop culture was in the 90s. It was like, it was mainly a black and brown thing. So
I guess you always had that Brazilian, like Brazilians are like different. We like music, our life is all about parties and just being happy and getting together with family.
Like, I'm the kind of guy that I could get right now if you told me to get up and dance, I would just dance.
No matter what rhythm, right?
I thank my mom for that, because my mom used to make me dance all the time. So
yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, like growing up here was it was different, you know, and hip hop culture became part of my life at a very young age. Around 10 or 11, I had my first rap group.
Oh wow, what was it? What are they called?
We were the International Connection.
Oh,
So we were a mixed group of different races and colors. Which
Oh,
was
that's
cool,
cool.
I guess.
Have you ever get to see or
Oh,
like the old? Sorry, did you ever get to see the old guys like the?
I don't talk to any of them on a regular basis. None of them continued on with music at all, just me.
Oh wow.
But I have a couple on my Facebook, and I've bumped into them here and there over the years, and especially since I started doing well with hip hop. Of course, they would hear about it. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, remember we had that little rap group?" I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good to have one day like a reunion, eh?
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, just to finish off the whole growing up thing.
Yeah, please.
It was definitely different. With Brazilian families, especially mixed breed, your families didn't talk about racism. Like my parents, like my dad, he always jokes. He says, "I left Brazil. I was white. I came to Canada. I was brown." I don't understand.
Well, is he from Brazil or is he Canadian?
Yeah, all my family's from Brazil.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, my daughter is in my bloodline, like from my immediate family, is the first-born, first true Canadian, I guess you could say. Like, I was born here, but genetically I'm Brazilian.
Yeah, yeah.
And I used to argue because people were like, "Oh no, you're Canadian." I said, "Okay, if I was born in China, would you call me Chinese?" And they said no. I said, "Well, then there you go. So why do I have to be Canadian?" Right?
Oh, do you have dual citizenship or?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's good. It's always good to have, right?
Yeah, it is a great thing to have. My dad actually, he's the founder of Futsal Canada.
Oh, okay.
And he used to coach the Canadian national futsal team.
Oh, wow.
And so I got to tour down to Brazil when I was a kid with them, and that's when he took me back to Brazil when I was 11 for my first time.
Oh, yeah. It's probably was probably better to be on that age, so you at least would enjoy a little better, eh?
It was a big eye-opener, but, I've seen a lot of the crime and the poverty.
Yeah, what did you think about the heat?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
I'm the kind of guy I can go out, it can be 60 degrees, and I'll go out to the beach. I don't care. I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I soak it up too.
I hate the cold. I hate the cold my whole life. And that's the thing. Like, I never got into hockey or skiing or snowboarding or Canadian stuff. No, I never adjusted to the cold weather ever in my
But
life.
did you like soccer game, playing soccer and stuff?
Oh yeah, of course.
It wasn't a blood then.
Actually, when I was 15 years old, I got accepted to go to the Palmeiras Academy in Sao Paulo.
Oh wow.
And I never went because, my dad decided to leave and go to Brazil without me. That was the last we saw of Dad for a while.
Oh wow.
But that's a whole other, that's a different path that my life could have gone, and I'm glad it didn't.
Yeah. Well, don't you ever sometimes wonder, where would you be if you made different choices?
Like if I had gone to Brazil, I think I probably, with my dad as my coach and my natural, I've always been a natural athlete. I was always a very big, strong, fast kid, perfect to play soccer. And I think I probably would have done well.
Yeah.
But
You probably been married to a Brazilian and stayed there, never came back.
something like that. But what happened later on around 25, I blew my knee out.
Oh no.
And that's when I started getting a lot more serious about music and art and everything because I couldn't be as active anymore.
Oh yeah.